Hey everyone, Anthony here. Welcome to the channel and also welcome to Thrift Flip Terrariums. Yes, you heard that correctly. In this series, we're turning secondhand glassware into stunning, budget-friendly terrariums using only thrift stored finds, locally sourced wood, decorative rocks, moss, and even native plants from a nature walks. So if you love DIY, upcycling, and bringing greenery into your space without breaking the bank, you're in the right place. Each episode, I'll take a thrift store treasure, maybe a vase, a jar, or something totally unexpected, and transform it into a living, breathing ecosystem. Plus, I'll share expert tips on plant care, terrarium design, and how to source materials for next to nothing. So if you're ready to turn old glass into a fresh green space, then hit that subscribe button and let's get started with today's build. Hey guys, Anthony here. Thanks for joining the channel. And we are now, yes, on episode 4 of Thrift Flip Terrariums. What I've got for you on this one is the drink dispenser that had a spout. I removed the spout and I wanted to keep the nature of the jug the same. So I thought, why not try a water feature? So I'm going to run the cord through the spout. It's like a 1.5-inch pump. I've used this pump. This is the first build I've used it in. What I love about it though is completely quiet. Now what you're just seeing there is I've made a template, have half of the opening of the jar itself. And now I'm building my foundation for my waterfall. This took legit 2 full days and it gave me endless headaches. So even though I love the way it turned out, I seriously do not want to revisit a waterfall for quite some time, at least not in a jug. That's not saying that jugs aren't fabulous containers, but for me, it was horribly challenging. I just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, fortunately, all the rock I have, that's all sourced here locally in North Central Texas. I'm even going to showcase, there's a fern that's native Texan fern that I'm going to place in the terrarium itself. So this is not, I guess it wouldn't really be a true terrarium because it does have a water feature. I did want to split it in 2 and have a beach side and then also a planting side. The base rocks I used were just too big. You know, in Texas we say go big or go home. I went big and I'm at home. So, hey, yeah, the base is too big. Matter of fact, you're going to see here in a little while where I keep trying to build it up because it's so short and I'm thinking it's way too little. It's going to look ridiculous. And when I try to build it up, I actually have to break part of it apart because I made it as big as it could get for the opening of the jar. So I ran into a lot of complications with this one as far as fretting over what color rocks to put near each other. Okay, here, this is my first attempt at trying to build the foundation up because I've decided that, okay, if I'm going to have a little bit of water in here and I'm going to have some sand in here, I need to at least have the base of it elevated or it's going to be sitting down and it's going to look like this little baby waterfall and I'm going to have all this space at the top of the jar that's not going to have anything in it. So this is my attempt. This is my several attempts at trying to get this thing, trying to get it to elevate. I tried every rock I had that would possibly fit in there and they all looked ridiculous. So I just had to go back and keep trying to build the waterfall up. And I had a little hiccup. Now I made my template, which was the curvature only of the opening. Once you got inside the jar, there was more room. Unfortunately, it's all curved. So to get the waterfall to sit level, this is where I'm trying to like prop it up somehow. And I never throw anything away. I swear those little things right now you're looking at is inside the beverage container actually was from an IKEA delivery, and some curtain rods. So yeah, I literally don't throw anything. I'm actually from a family of thrifters, and I started doing this when I was very, very young. My parents never threw anything away. And my dad liked to build lots of stuff, so he wouldn't throw anything away. Okay, here's to me this is funny now because this is where I'm bordering on it is way too big and I don't realize it, and I spent all this time trying to make it taller and it's not even going to fit. And I'm like, oh, it just, I don't know. I know that other people that have made several probably waterfalls, they would, understand there's a better way to start out doing this. But when it's your first, you just kind of have to figure it out as you're going along, and then you'll never do that again. Okay, so here you have, there's my base structure. I've put um, the foam, the great stuff foam, to keep it all together. And it is heavy at this point. And so I did that because I didn't want what little water pressure I had to go into the backside. Okay, here's our test run. Now you're seeing both pieces together. So the middle rock that's the wettest, that's where they join together. And now I found a little saucer that actually will elevate. Actually, it's not a little saucer. You know what electrical tape comes in? The electrical tape that you buy, it comes in a little plastic container. That's what that is. And so I just attached it to the bottom. Now, the tubing I'm using is not tubing for a waterfall like this. The tubing is super, super small, and I have to tape it with electrical tape to get it to fit because I'm too cheap to go out and buy something specific. So it works for me because that tubing was, oh gosh, I just pointed to my biggest nightmare. Okay, I sealed the plug in, but I didn't seal around the rubber seal. I found out the next morning that all the water up to that line had drained out. I was devastated. But anyway, the tubing goes to a drip irrigation system for houseplants, and it's a fraction of the size of aquarium tubing, which the pump is for an aquarium. So I had to modify. It still worked. It just meant that I didn't have hardly any flow, which was okay for me because I wanted something very minimal. All right, now I've got the sand in there. The fountain has been, the great stuff has been put in, and it would be holding it, except I get a little aggressive trying to push a plant in there and it comes loose. But it's okay. It didn't move very far. This is duckweed, and I have another something root. I'll put it in the description. But I know it's duckweed, which is local, and then another plant, a floater plant that is native to north central Texas. So the water plants and the fern I just put in. And by the way, how I did that fern is I wrapped it in sphagnum moss, and now I'm putting sphagnum moss behind the fountain itself because I had some room up there. So I'm putting sphagnum moss, and I'm going to cover that in moss, and then I'm going to put some plants up there. So that's how hopefully I'm getting around not having soil inside the jar itself. Oh, duckweed, that's the floating plant. I found that in a local lake, and so I was really excited. So what we have going in here is we have two native Texas water plants, and then we also have a native Texas fern that's inside there. After that fiasco with the leaking, I had to pull some stuff out, and the hose got pinched a little. Now here you can see, and it still looks, it doesn't flow as much as it did before because of the pinched hose. And I'm not going to get back in there and fix it. I'm not going to touch it. But you can tell I did go in and I put a lot of moss on the levels. I put a nerve plant, a kelp hoya, and another sprig of something else in there. Oh, the leafy plant down in the bottom of the water. I don't know what that is, but it grows in water because it was in with the two water plants that I collected from the lake. So I'm not sure what it's going to do, but it was growing, and I never even noticed it whenever it was too small. Whenever I picked up the plants out of the water, they've been growing for about a month, and that thing was already there. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me a like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me what you think about it and what you would do differently. Or I will tell you also how to avoid waterfalls. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.